The uncomfortable truth about race in dating is the fact that number one, this shit definitely matters. And for you to act like it doesn't matter, like your ethnicity, your race, I don't know the politically correct term, so fucking sue me, whatever you want to call it. It'd be retarded to ignore that these don't exist, that these aren't, really, these aren't like real factors that affect dating. And it would be simultaneously equally retarded to act that this is the end all be all and there's no viable solutions for this. So let's go through it, right? Let's say that I'm a black guy, for instance, right? It would make absolutely zero goddamn fucking sense for me to go to China. From what I've been told, again, maybe I'm wrong, but let's just assume that everything I've been told about China is for the most part accurate, or a country like Korea. If I liked Asian girls as a black guy, it would be absolutely brain dead, retarded for me to go to these countries, right? At the same time, a black guy in the Nordic countries, Sweden, Finland, Norway, etc., a black guy in Miami. These are markets where everybody with a brain knows that black guys get treated really, really well. They say, go where you're appreciated. So again, it's there's two sides of the coin. One is being a retard and acting like this shit doesn't matter at all, and there aren't countries that are more xenophobic or racist, or they're that they don't favor other ethnicities or races more than others. So that's one thing. On the other end, I think most guys do the opposite and they focus on it too much. Everyone likes to be a victim and everybody likes to complain that it's not their fault. If you guys ever study copywriting, which is basically sales in the written form, you write words on a website to convince somebody to buy a product. If you can really identify with that group and make it sound like it's not their fault, like, oh, you didn't lose weight. Well, it's not your fault. The government wants you to be overweight. It's the government's fault. Like for the food pyramid or whatever, or XYZ, it's called allaying their fears, right? Or I don't know, whatever it is. But point being is like everyone wants to be a victim. Everybody wants to feel like it's not your fault. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not succeeding in dating that what you want, again, one, don't be overly retarded. Don't be like, why am I not getting success in Korea? Because in Korea, they only want to date other Koreans. And that is when it is the fault of the actual country. That's one of the instances where, yes, like looking at this shit matters. But for most places, under most circumstances, it's your genetics, your game, your finances, and your strategy that is most likely holding you back more than just your ethnicity. So let me elaborate, right? Your genetics is obvious. It's how good looking is your faces. Do you have a kink in your nose like I do with this offensively pale white skin? Or are you a handsome, tan, tall guy who still has all of his hair and has white teeth, unlike yellow motherfucking teeth like mine? That's genetics. Okay, that's one of the biggest factors: your height, your bone structure, etc. Next thing is your confidence, your humor, your empathy, your overall social skills, your ability to relate and be charismatic and create a connection to other human beings. That's a big factor. Your finances is big for very obvious reasons I don't need to elaborate on, and your overall strategy. I won't get too off tangent here, but my strategy is I have 2 or 3 or 4 Tinder accounts running at any given time. I could be boosting an Instagram post at any given time. I'm testing different dating markets and testing different cities. I take more photos than a goddamn actual like Instagram thought model. I'm always testing my photos. I'm asking female friends, what do you think of this? I'm sending my photos to websites where people rate photos. I'm touching them up so I look better. I am going hard in the motherfucking paint on this. I have left America. I'm traveling around different dating markets. I have a very, very good strategy. It's not my looks. It's not my money. I have a really, really good strategy. And that's, if you're new here, if you go to my older videos, that's why you'll see all the receipts. I date beautiful women and I have all the receipts. You can go to my other videos and check that out. But these are the things that matter the most. Okay. So for most places in Latin America, and again, there could be exceptions, even if white guys are favored a bit more, which I don't necessarily agree with in most places, but I'm sure in probably certain places within Mexico, I would say for the most part, probably most places in Colombia, from what I've seen, there would be a general preference for the most part for a typical white gringo blue-eyed looking foreigner. We all know this is true, right? In certain cities, right? And let's not over focus on this, but it's true. However, a 6 out of 10 white guy, even though white is a little bit more, preferential, is not going to do better than an 8.5 or 9 out of 10 black guy. Like a good looking, taller, more confident, less goofy black guy is going to do better in, let's say, Guadalajara, Mexico, than a goober of a white guy, even though white might be, somewhat preferred. On the flip side, they highly, 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 highly prefer black guys in the Nordic countries, Sweden, Finland, Norway. But a goofy black guy who's overweight is not going to do as good as a white guy who's in shape and cool and got his shit together and has amazing photos and multiple Tinders and multiple Instagram accounts and multiple online dating virtual assistants texting girls on his behalf for him in his sleep. All right. So it's, again, strategy, genetics, height, these things, style, money. And like I said, strategy a million times. These are the things that help more. But at the same time, if you like Asian girls, white, black, anything, doesn't matter. Do not go to Korea and wonder why you're not getting success there. That's where the shit like, the genetics, the money, the height, that's not what's holding you back. That's one of the few times that, yes, it is your race, it is your ethnicity. That is what is actually factually holding you back from success there in that specific instance. If I was, let's say this, right? An older, out of shape Indian guy. Unfortunately, I don't make the rules. It's well known. Indian guys get the short end of the stick in dating. They are by far, by women, considered to be the least attractive and the least desirable. It's messed up. I don't condone it. I don't support it. But we all know the truth. As they say, it is what it is. You can't change it. It's a cold fact of life. So for me as an Indian guy, if I really liked blondes, and someone said, oh yeah, there's a lot of blondes in Phoenix, Arizona. You should get the white blonde girls in Phoenix, Arizona. The white blondes in Phoenix, Arizona, for the most part, ain't looking for Indian guys. This comes back to what I said. It's more so your game, your confidence, your humor, your strategy, your genetics, your money. But you would also be a fucking moron if you don't acknowledge that race or ethnicity, whatever you want to call it, is a big part of this. Okay? If I was that same guy, that older, unattractive Indian guy, I would be, once again, in the Nordic countries in a heartbeat. I would be back home in India, where I would go maybe to the north part, the Punjabi region of India, where the girls are actually quite beautiful. And based on the strength of my status, maybe I'm American, I have a green card, I have some money, maybe I could do really, really well over there. Girls in India tend to like Indian guys. Due to social pressures, her family is going to want her to go off and for her to make her family happy. Again, there's still a lot of arranged marriages and stuff going on in India. Keep in mind, for her to please her family and get a upward mobility in her life and go off with an Indian guy, could be a great strategy. So I'm just saying, don't ignore this. On one end of the token, you are a freaking moron if you don't acknowledge that your ethnicity is helping you or hurting you to some degree everywhere, and in certain places to a high degree. Again, Medellin, they don't like foreigners. As a foreigner, you will always be seen as an outsider. You will always be seen as a success object for money or upward mobility. They will never fully accept you. You will never fully be integrated into their culture. Same thing in Korea. I would imagine in a certain lot of Muslim countries, it would be very, very similar, where a foreigner wouldn't do well. So be aware of it. Go to the Facebook groups, the Passport Bros Facebook groups. Go watch Austin Holloman's channel. Shout out to my friend Austin Holloman. He's also coming out with a product. I don't know if he's calling it the World Dating and Love and Travel Guide, or I gave him the name Passport Bro Playbook. I don't know if he's going to use the name that I told him to use, but whatever name, whenever Austin launches his product, Get his travel guides, especially if you're black, because he'll review from from a black guy's perspective, from a brother's perspective, how you get treated. But do your research, do your homework, and find out if where you want to go date is going to have a problem with your ethnicity. Like I said, unfortunately, Indian and Asian guys are just, for the most part, it's fucked up unless you're just top tier. You're shooting yourself in the foot by staying in America. Black guy in Miami, very different story. They adore black guys there, right? So be aware of this, understand this, and try to find the places to maximize your advantage in your ethnicity. At the same time, don't cry like a little whiny fucking bitch and do nothing about it. And understand that, like, on the pie chart, the sliver of the chart in most areas is your ethnicity, your race, and the overwhelming, like larger chunk on the pie chart is these things we talked about. Your looks, your genetics, your money, your height, how good looking you are. I guess that's covered under genetics, right? How muscular you are, how much you hit the gym, your style, and of course your game, your confidence, and the overall strategy. A very average guy with an amazing strategy. He's moved a club promoter into his house, and the guy for the after parties bringing in, 20 to 25 new girls every single week. And he's just being introduced to 20 to 25 beautiful women every single week because he has a better strategy. And he's just doing it on a better strategy. It's not his looks, it's not his money. He's just literally doing it smarter than you are. These are the things that matter. For the most part, it's not your ethnicity, but at the same time, look, don't hyper focus on it. At the same time, don't be a retard and completely overlook it. Have a healthy balance. And if you want to go deeper on all this strategy stuff I was talking about setting up systems, automated systems, to meet women on autopilot using other people's time, go to my Instagram, link in bio, Redbeard Rants, message me the word strategy, and we can talk about that. And that's it. Peace out, gentlemen.